Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I'm your host, Lady Poet.
Hi, everybody. I'm K Love.
What's up, everybody? I'm James.
Okay, and James will be joining us today for a discussion, an open discussion on dating and the phases of healing. Of course, we start every week with the letter, so let's go to the letter. Dear Survivor, I know dating is something that you want to do. We all want to do it, but healing is so important. I know at the beginning of healing, we didn't see red flags. And in deep healing, we see all the red flags. It's okay. I know it can be quite confusing, but it's okay. Our hearts will be okay one day, and we will receive the love that we long for. Love always, Tim, Kate Love, James, and Lady Poet Speaks. So today we do want to talk openly about our own processes in dating while we're in like different phases of healing. So I'll open the floor to whoever wants to go first. Um, and then we'll just have the open discussion.
I think you should go first.
Okay, well, of course, I will go first. So, in I always laugh. I just told somebody I tried to get back in the dating pool a few weeks ago, and it felt like it was peace still in the dating pool. And I laugh when I say that only because it's like where I am now and taking control of my healing. I see everything as a red flag when before I'm like, nobody can be as bad as what I've been through. So, and feeling like nobody can be as bad as what I went through, I think I kind of was immune to red flags. Like, okay, well, this person isn't as bad because I'm not going through the same situations that I was going through as a younger adult. I was in a marriage that was full of red flags, not only his red flags, but mine too. Sometimes we look at people's red flags, but what are our own? One of my red flags at that moment was I would go into deep rages. So I think when he would tell me different things, I would go into rages, but he just made it worse by like stirring the pot when he didn't have to. And so I think that that's where it is now. And it felt like my whole marriage was a red flag, but I didn't see it because I wanted everything to work. And I was so used to being talked down to or people underestimating me or being a black sheep in my family that I fought tooth and nail for a marriage that I knew was toxic to work. And so I think in 2021, I really ended that marriage and to take my own life back. And when I did take my life back, um, when I did decide to take my life back, it took healing within myself first. And a lot of times we don't look at ourselves, we don't evaluate what we may have done wrong. But I'm the opposite. I look at myself first and then look at the relationship. And so now I think I'm on a great journey to healing. But now I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum and I got to get myself out of that. That's seeing everything is red flag. I'm like, nope, you breathe funny. I'm gone. So I think that that's one of my biggest things. So I can honestly say I'm still in the healing process, but my heart is not closed to going back out there and finding I guess, the person that's actually meant for me that God has for me. So,
Right. Well, okay. So healing while dating. Um, it's a process. It is truly, truly a process. I think the most important thing about healing is that you have to accept the mistakes that you made,
mhm.
forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made, let go of the past because you don't want your past to keep coming back into your present and messing up your future. So that's part of healing, letting things go and understanding the role that you played in your relationships, whether good, bad, or indifferent. You got to accept responsibility for how you behaved or believed or thought or felt or whatever, and how it contributed to the relationship. And for me, like you said, I did a lot of reflecting, and started accepting my part, my role. And like you said, flags, girl, the flags was there and you knew it.
Right.
But you chose
Yep.
to ignore it. You chose not to see it, or because of where you were in your life at that time. For me, I was grieving, or I didn't know how to grieve, because from my past, I was just the one who just kept going, kept going, went to work. That was how I was, dealing with things, by not dealing, just being busy, being busy.
Mhm.
And serving at my church, just doing things for other people and helping other people, but not taking time to let my heart mend and let my mind be set free. And so this last go around, I said, nope, wait, hold up. A lot has gone on in the last 4-5 years, and you need to just accept some responsibility for the way you want your future to be. And so I had to check my attitude about some things. I had to take time to look at what is it that you really want? What is it that you don't need or don't want? I had to figure those things out, because if you don't have a set idea of what's important to you, you'll start accepting anything just because they're giving you some attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, nah, we're not going to fall into that trap again. Yeah, you may be cute, but you may not be the one for me. You may be smart, but we may not be compatible. So you have to take time for yourself to really sit down and think things through about you. And then when you feel like you are ready, because you ain't got to rush it. Some people break up with somebody on Tuesday, and on Wednesday morning, they online looking. Whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
Get your life together, and just take a moment to breathe and relax. And allow all of that toxicity or whatever pain or hurt or anger you were feeling or going through, address it, accept it, and then let it go. And then that starts the healing process. And it's nothing that can happen overnight. It's impossible. If you're going to be realistic with yourself, you understand, this is going to take a little time, but in the meantime, I'll pay attention, and I'll, see somebody and say, hey, how you doing? Be friends. Get to know.
That's how you say, hey.
Hey.
So, but it's a process. I'm grateful, to God, to have the opportunity to get to know somebody and fall in love again. But you still got to take your time. Take your time. You ain't got to rush it. You ain't got to force it. If you forcing it, it's not going to work anyway.
Right.
So get to know you again, fall in love with you, start to like yourself, because that's what I was doing. And journaling, talking to people, reading, just taking time by myself, taking myself to dinner and going out, just being with me, or staying at home and, get my popcorn and watch some Netflix. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But healing is a process, and it's not a quick process. If you healed quickly, you lied to yourself. So, regardless of the situation.
Right.
Huh?
That's another show topic for another day. Lying to yourself when you trying to heal. Because I did that plenty of times.
that you got, James?
Oh, I thought you were still going. That's why.
No, go ahead, honey, because I could talk forever. Go ahead.
No, I think you really hit on. I think you hit on a lot of good stuff. I think that Amanda hit on a lot of good stuff too. We got a comment from Cat Queen. What if I want to be the bad guy for a change and stop getting hurt?
I mean, to that I can say, I've done that too. Okay, I'm gonna hurt everybody that tried to hurt me, but that just proves, like we just talked about, that I'm not healed.
Right.
Because just because you've been hurt don't mean you can hurt somebody else. You can't make somebody else pay for the mistakes of other people.
Right.
And I had to learn that because I got into liking people even after I got out of a hard marriage, and I realized that why am I making this person pay for the mistakes of what my ex-husband did when they know nothing about the person, number one. And what about their baggage? Would I want them to keep holding me accountable for something that their ex-girlfriend, wife, or anything done to them? So I think that, I mean, I laugh because I wanted to be the bad guy for once. Let me just talk to you and give you my number. Then when I don't want to talk to you no more, just ghost you. But
Right.
I realized in that point that I wasn't healing, because now my thing is getting revenge. So if you're getting revenge, you trade a one for the other. You trade your heart being hurt for hurting somebody else, and eventually that will hurt your own heart because you know you're not cut out that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through a year like that. I had been through, some traumatic stuff, and your attitude kind of shifts, and I was just like, I'm gonna get you before you get me. So being bad or being the bad guy comes with consequences, because along the way here, I'm thinking I'm getting over on people. And then I came across someone who I had dated briefly, and they expressed their feelings. They was like, you really hurt me. I was really into you, and you really played me. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hear that I had actually hurt somebody, but
I'm sorry.
It was in my face. I was just like, wow. And he wasn't a bad person. He was a nice guy. I just wasn't ready. I was just out here shooting it like any other person who really wasn't ready. And I was doing what had been done to me. And it wasn't. And you're right. I mean, a lady poet, it's not fair to the other person. But when you're in that mindset, you don't even realize that you're actually hurting somebody. And that, let's talk about that ghosting thing, man. I didn't even realize how real that was until I started doing it.
It's very real.
Right.
And some people don't adhere to it. If I'm not calling you,
I ghosted you.
That means I don't want to be bothered, right? So why you keep calling me? Why you keep texting me? Now I got to put you on the block. So yeah, but I mean,
like I think it's far too simple to just say you don't.
Right.
Like, I think it's far too simple to just say that you don't.
Oh, we can go out, but that don't mean I want a relationship with you.
Right.
Right.
We can hang out, but if I'm not ready for that, and if you're honest about that up front,
that part,
but some people aren't, and they drag people along and they play these games, and then you wonder why you got somebody jumping out the bushes looking for you.
Right. All right, James. So we
said jumping out the bushes. I just think that part of me feels like the healing process never really ends.
Right.
I think you're always working on you, and you're always working on getting better. And I think I'm looking at these comments. That's why. But I think you're always working on yourself, and you're always working on ways of improving and stuff like that. And really just doing the work. Like, I've been able to see I've been able to see a lot, and we've all had different relationships and marriage and stuff like that. So I've had the opportunity to really see a lot, and as I feel like I've done a lot of the work, like obviously there's still work to do, but as I feel like I've done a lot of the work, dating sucks now
Yes.
because nobody is clear about what they want. Nobody communicates. It's like it's a game, and
Right.
it sucks right now, and it makes you want to say just not to date during the healing process, but you always healing. So you're always healing from things. So I just think it really takes a lot of communication, of course, but you kind of doing the self work and coming to the conclusion of what you really want out of a mate and in a relationship, and then just making sure that you don't settle.
Right.
Um, and that's really the biggest thing, because you get to liking people, and then you start seeing stuff, and you put stuff to the side because you feel like it's gonna get better. And I'm one who I'm gonna point out what I see or whatever, and I'm not just gonna be putting stuff to the side, because after so long, it's like it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and then you angry and depressed and all this other stuff. So it's definitely a lot that goes into it. But it compared to 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, like it sucks today. Like you would think that things had gotten a lot better, but it really has gotten worse.
Mhm. And I just want to add to Marcelle's comment about her saying that she blocked somebody today. I did the same thing about 2 weeks ago because I was in a situation where I was supposed to be going out with someone, didn't communicate, left and said, "Oh, well, I'll text you Friday if we're going on a date Friday." I don't know anything about you. So, how are you going to text me and pick me up the same day? Like, I don't work that way. So, blocked. And so, yeah, I had to do the same thing. And so, James, I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's like nobody wants to talk anymore. Nobody wants to get to know each other. Is okay. You meet one day, and I know Kim, you probably have had this. I mean, K Love, you probably have had this same situation. All where people meet you the one day, ask for your number, and then want to come over your house the next day. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Mm-mm.
no,
People crazy out here. No, you cannot know where I live. Sorry.
right,
Yeah.
right.
I don't want to know where you live. I don't want to know where you work. I don't need to know all of that right now.
You want to know what?
But long as you got a job.
Right,
Them days
That's not a given no more either.
them
Just,
days
just,
of dating
just to be
Pookie
clear,
and Ray
that's not a
Ray is
given
over.
anymore either.
right.
Huh?
It's not.
You said make sure you have a job. I said that's not a given anymore either these days.
No, it's not, unfortunately. And yeah, we don't want no more Pookie and Ray Rays.
So, so Cat Queen, she has another question. She said, "What are some safety tips when newly dating?"
So I think me personally, if I'm going to go back out in the dating scene, um, my friend, I talk about it every week. K Love, C Yoni Pearls. I'd be like, let's go double. You don't have to sit at the same table as me, but be
Mhm.
there. And we came up with the code word. So it's a word that you don't say often when you with your friends. So that can be, people laugh, but like Kevin Hart, pineapples. If I call you or text you this
Mhm.
code word, that
Yeah.
mean I'm not safe. That mean that I need you to send out the team. Like I turn my location on. So I feel like when you're newly dating, first to meet somebody in a public space. Secondly, have that code word set with at least one or two friends, maybe a couple family members, so that way if something happens or
Mhm.
you don't feel comfortable around that person, you could text this code word and they'll know. And I'm sorry, I'm reading some of the comments. So and then I think that also cutting on your location when you leave to where you're going. um, I don't use government names. I don't use addresses or job addresses. I don't even tell a person where I work until I would tell somebody I got a job, yes, but I'll tell them I'm self-employed until I know that we've been dating, because you don't know how people are. They might follow you to your job. They may follow you to your home. Nothing is safe nowadays.
Mm.
So I don't give out more information than a person needs to know. It's on a need to know basis. If you ask me what's my name, I answer the question with a question. What's your name? How old are you? How old are you? So that way I'm not giving more information that I need to right away. You tell me your age first, then I'll follow up with my age. If I feel like you lying, I'm gonna lie about my age too. So, like, I mean, not saying that relationships should start on a lie, because that's a bad thing, but it's just keeping yourself safe
Yeah.
until you're comfortable with that person and you know that person is a safe person.
And that's all good advice. Like, especially like you said, you turn your location on. I think that's good too. And to have somebody, be sharing it with somebody.
Right.
Oh, location is always important.
Yeah.
I remember, like Lady Poet Speaks said, you got to have that safe word. But I also, these phones, boy, I'd be like, you said your name is what? Uh-huh. And all they don't know, I'm snapping pictures, and sending them so that you can have an idea what this individual looked like and where we went. I mean, not to make light of it, but you do have to have like a ABC plan to exit it if you need to, a horrible date. Or if you get the prickly feeling in the back of your neck that this person's crazy, I'm gonna need somebody to cover me.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, we were very much, me and my girlfriends, Lady Poet, like she said, we were very much into, okay, you going out with who, where, okay, what time? Text me when you get there, and drive separately. Like she said, meet somebody in a public place, preferably when it's still light outside.
Right.
We can go to Starbucks. We can do the cheap date first time. I ain't gonna trip on you because you taking me to Starbucks. No, let's do that. Because I want to
Cheesecake Factory.
I like
the about Cheesecake Factory.
Right.
Cheesecake Factory, Olive Garden, Popeyes. Look.
I just said Popeyes.
All I'm saying is I'm hungry and I want to sit and look at your face and talk. So we got to be lavish and all of that, because if you are already trying to impress me with, where we going and all, that's irrelevant to me. Now, to some folks that may be important, but for me, if I'm literally trying to get to know somebody, all that other stuff, that's nothing.
Right.
We can go get some coffee and go sit on the park bench. I don't care, because the point of it is to get to know you. Mm-hmm. And if you playing games, depending on how you carry yourself, you'll be able to tell. Right. This individual ain't about what I'm about. So let me just keep it moving. And and if you feel like it's weird, okay, you know what, my dear, we're gonna have to cut this short. I don't. If I be frank, I don't feel like we're making a real connection. For me. And then just, be like, girl, I'm leaving right now. I'm walking to my car real fast just in case he try to follow me. Stuff like that. You just have to have plans to protect yourself.
Yeah. Right. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna follow up what she said. If you trying to take me somewhere lavish and we're just now getting to know each other, I feel like you got something to hide. I'm sorry, that's just me. Mm-hmm. I just met you. We don't have to go to Longhorn or Brown Derby or somewhere that I know you gonna come out the pocket. Let's go talk. Like, let me know your name and your birthday, maybe your favorite color, before we, do something lavish. And that's just me. I mean, I know people are different and everybody had their own take on different things, but I know me. Like, if you trying to take me somewhere, okay, then my senses go up. And that's the part of me that I still got to heal, because why are you trying to take me somewhere so lavish and I don't even know you yet? What's your name? What's your favorite color? Mm-hmm. I feel like getting dressed up and, like she said, go to somewhere nice. We don't have to, go somewhere lavish. We can do a coffee date. There's plenty of, I like stuff like mom and pop shop. So we can go somewhere like Urbana, that's in on Shaker Square somewhere, and just go to those type of restaurants and just chill somewhere where we don't have to just to get to know each other. So I wholeheartedly agree with all of that. Like let's just get to know each other first.
Well, nowadays people are doing dates via cell phone. We're
Right,
gonna have a video date, you know.
right.
Just I mean, we got all these different sites that you can go on and just sit and talk to people and not be in their space, literally. So I mean, those are options nowadays versus actually going somewhere, spending some money, and
Right.
it be awkward because you realize, oh, I'm not really attracted. There's nothing clicking right here, nice person, but just not for me, so it's really up to you. You can stay at home and be on a date on your phone.
And one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give, I'm sorry, James, I'll let you go.
No, that's
One
okay.
of the biggest pieces of advice I could give is your standards are not too high. People always say, well, your standards are too high. No, because the right person for you will fit that mold. So I
Absolutely.
tell everybody when they say, maybe my stand, because I was that person, maybe my standards too high. Maybe I ain't going to meet nobody. No, that's low self-esteem talking. No, you're going to find a person that's going to meet every box that you have and that my things that I'm not okay with, they won't have those type of flaws, those type of character flaws. And if they do, I know that's my cue to exit stage left. So I tell everybody, and I'm telling anybody that's watching today and think, well, maybe my standards is too high.
Mhm.
Baby girl, they're not that high. They are not too high because the right person will fit those standards.
Yeah, and I think it's good a lot of times to just stop looking, stop searching, and just let that person find you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the best piece of advice you can give. But ain't nobody gonna find me because I'm at home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Unless they delivering packages or something that's gonna knock on my door. I don't know about that. So
Yeah. But you be out places sometimes. Like you never know.
I know I'm just
Right.
playing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know people who have met their spouses at like the grocery store
Right.
or the gas station, places that we gotta go to from time to time.
Yeah.
So it's not always about the dating sites. And like you said, James, if you don't focus so much on trying to find somebody
Hmm.
and just do it naturally, because that's how people were dating before we had all of these dating sites and dating organizations and
Right.
dating events and all of that. People were just genuinely meeting somebody somewhere.
Right.
Or a friend or a family member would say, hey, I know this person I want to introduce you to, you
Mhm.
know, and so it was more rich. It was
Right.
more comfortable then. Now it's just like, mayhem. I got this dating site. Now people scamming and acting crazy and da 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 da.
Right.
So yeah, I like the old way, the old fashioned way, just nice running into somebody,
Yeah.
and if it works, fine. If not, you got other options now, and you just take your time and weed out the mess.
Right.
Now,
I agree.
from a man's perspective, I have a question. So, we always are quick to say when men get out of a relationship, boom, they on to the next lady. Is that because the man has actually healed, or he wasn't hurt in the first place, or
Mm,
that's just his cover up?
that's a loaded question.
I know.
That is a very loaded question. Look at that big Kool-Aid smile. That is a very loaded question.
I put you in the hot seat.
So now you really didn't, because you really did. I think the reality is a lot of men are hurt, and they lie to themselves and everybody else about being hurt because nobody don't want to share their feelings, and nobody don't want to look like a bitch, and all of the above. So I think that they actually are hurt and that they're lying about it, lying to themselves and trying to make it look like they're not. And as far as just moving on to the next one, I just think a lot of guys like they don't. I mean, especially in our community, like nobody's going and getting help, and like it's like it's taboo to go and see a counselor and like all that type of stuff. Look, I tell anybody I love counseling, so I think you definitely need to go and talk to that third party. But a lot of them are not getting help. They just moving on to the next one and settling for whatever. That's the thing that you cannot do. I think, if you truly want to be happy, like you got to figure out like what your wants and your needs are, what you feel like you really need out of the relationship, and then just go for that. And if that means that you by yourself, you just by yourself. Like ain't nothing wrong with being by yourself.
No. Yeah. I had asked a couple of gentlemen about that before, and they say real men have feelings.
Absolutely.
And yes, men do get hurt. And yes, men need, just like everybody else, time to heal.
Mhm.
Now, if they choose to go south and just go for what they know, okay. And it may feel wonderful for a second, but then afterwards, you still got to go home,
right,
and look at yourself and your situation. And then you got those who, like you said, they admit, nah, man, that broke my heart. That I cried.
Right.
You
And sometimes when you're in these relationships, sometimes you have to really think about it and just be honest with yourself as far as, is this the person for me? And maybe it's not. Yeah. Like maybe it's. I mean, you to me, you pretty much can figure that out if you look at what it is that you really want out of the relationship. Can this person provide that? Mm-hmm. And if maybe that's not the person for you. Yeah. And don't be afraid to say you're not the person for me.
Right.
Like it don't have to be a bad thing. We don't have to be enemies or nothing like that. But we just not for each other. Like I've told people that. Like we just not for each other. We're not compatible. Mm-hmm. This is what I want, and that's what you want. Mm-hmm. Or that's all that you want, and this is what I want. And there's no way that I'm gonna get to where I want to get to or get what I need if we're together. Like mm-hmm. we're settling.
Yeah.
Just to be with somebody, and at the end of the day, it's not worth it. I would just rather be by myself. Because I do just fine with myself. I don't need no like house somewhere to live, something to drive, something to eat, clothes, everything else. Like I can do myself, so I don't need nobody else to figure that out. So I could be by myself.
Yeah,
and it's I don't think there's anything wrong. But then some people are like they'll just openly date and date multiple people or whatever. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you clear and you honest up front and say this is what I'm doing. Because half the time that's what they're doing. Or that's what they're doing. Or that's
just
what
not saying anything.
Or that's what they want. So just be upfront. And instead of lying and cheating and doing all this little side shit, to try to cover it up, and they just say this is what I want. And 9 times out of 10, they probably gonna be cool with it.
Right. And that's just that's
just being honest.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They probably gonna be cool with it. And then maybe by doing that and seeing other people and going out with each other or whatever, maybe you'll ultimately realize this is who I want to be with or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then y'all can have that conversation and say, okay, well, we're not gonna date other people. And I mean, it's really about communicating and just saying, putting it on the table. That's to me, that's really what it is communicating. And people don't communicate. It's just like, when you said that, people have, or real men have feelings. Like we all got feelings. And people will make it seem like, oh, you wear your heart on your sleeve. No, I don't. Like a fucking human. Like I got feelings. and you do too. You just covering your shit up.
Right.
Like, I got feelings, and I don't have any problem whatsoever with saying, that was kind of fucked up. Like, my feelings was hurt.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
So
now, one of the other questions, and we kind of touched it a little bit, was what do we prefer? The originality of just meeting people, or dating online?
So I'll go first. I like to meet people in real life. I feel like I'm big on body language.
Mm-hmm.
So online, I think that you could put up a facade sometimes, and I think meeting you in real life, if you ain't feeling me, it's gonna tell me. Either your face gonna say it, cause like I tell people, it might not be my mouth all the time that need deliverance. It's my face. So
That
I
would be
think,
me.
yeah. So I'm a firm believer. If we they no line, I mean, you could say your phone fell over and you really ain't feeling me, but I don't see it because your screen went black or something, and then I'm getting a mixed signal. But if I see you in person and you like, or you making like weird faces, then I'm okay. Well, I know this person ain't feeling me, and I'm not feeling them either. So let's go left. So I'm more of a real life. I want to meet you in real life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that Amanda makes perfect sense with that. I guess I'm in between. Like, I can meet people face to face, or I can meet people, online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have, because I think you can put up a facade either way.
Either way.
Like, you could put up a facade and you can lie, and everything else. I mean, obviously, meeting people online, it makes it a whole lot easier, like, for catfishing and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, that stuff really, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm really okay. I think that, obviously, because I'm part of the LGBTQ community, like, initially I didn't really like meeting people face to face. So, like, it was easier for me to meet people online. But now I'm in a place where I can go to the bar and meet somebody, or I can go out and I might see somebody somewhere. At this point, I'll speak up and say what's on my mind. But it doesn't bother me now. So I can meet people either way.
For me, I could go either way as well. I think what online dating has done for those who are introverts, it's assisted to an extent, because you can meet crazy people anywhere and everywhere.
Absolutely.
But it also gave a platform for those who really want to find somebody but haven't had great success in the natural way, just meeting them somewhere and having the nerve to go up to them and strike up a conversation and potentially, exchange numbers. So it's helped in that area for some people. But I could go either way. I definitely appreciate the original way things were. Definitely I'm old school. So I love that, because then you get to see, if the person got a little suave or a little bit of game or whatever. But and then just to see how they carry themselves when you first meet them somewhere. You'll find that out later in dating somebody or meeting somebody online. You'll have conversation, you may exchange numbers, and then bam, y'all get together afterwards, and then you be like, wait a minute, that picture was kind of old. You don't look like that picture you sent or posted, so stuff like that, but yeah, if I was to choose, I would say old school. But I have been fortunate to make some nice friends offline, and then I've met some crazy people too.
Right. All right. So if we're done with the open conversation today, I want to pass it over to Tim for our motivational minutes.
How's everybody doing today?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, I'm going to pull over on the side of the road because I was driving. I'm sorry. Hold on. But I'm glad to.
You are fine. We want you to be safe first, okay?
Right.
All right. Yeah, I'm on the side now. Hold on for a minute. But I'm glad to be on today, and I love the conversation that you all been having about dating because the main thing is you got to know if the person is right for you. You can't be trying to date and you're forcing things. You gotta make sure that person is right for you. And I don't know why my camera.
Oh, we're having technical difficulties. Okay, so while we wait for Tim
Know
to...
that.
Okay, Tim, are you
Yes.
back?
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. But the main thing you have to know the love has to be there in the relationship. Because me personally, I don't just date to date because the person I was with, and we're still kind of working things out and seeing what the future holds. I like to date to know that we're gonna have a long future, possibly, of course, in love and then marriage. But the main thing you gotta take things step by step, and you gotta truly know that the love has to be there no matter what. The love has to outweigh everything that's going on. And true love is, and the definition of love is kind, love is pure, love is kind heartedness, and you can find it in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And I'm not going to be in the Bible so much tonight as I be in other times, but I just want to come strictly from my heart in this to say that the love has to be the glue, and the ultimate glue, or you gotta turn it over to Jesus. You gotta ask the Lord, is this person right for me? You gotta feel it within inside of you, and I'm not a fan of dating to date and just try. You have to find the right person. It takes time to find the right person, but the main thing is you gotta truly know if that person is right for you. You can't force anything because I personally tried to force things in the past, and that person wasn't right for me. I knew that person wasn't right for me, but I still try to force things. Oh, if she may come around, she may come around. That's not. If you gotta truly know from day one, you gotta have that feeling, this person right for me, that person not right for me. I remember the person that I was engaged to recently. When we first dated, I straight up said I just want to be friends, and then through time started loving that person, grew in love with the person, and then we grew in love with each other. But the one thing that hurt in the relationship is we loved each other so much that we forgot about what's going on in our lives. And the main thing, you got to balance dating with your real life as well. Don't go so far in dating and forget your priorities that you have in life as well. You got to balance them both out, and that's how you truly know if the person is right for you. Because that person that you're dating it should also help you elevate, not decrease, but help you increase. Mm-hmm. And how it makes you increase is that true love that balances everything out, because it's going to be some times, there's going to be some rocky times, but if you truly love the person, and you know that that person truly loves you, because don't just put all your all into the person, and the person don't love you the same. You got to balance each other out, and I'm not saying 50-50, because sometimes you might give 80, and the person may only give 20. The other person may only can give the 20, to give the 80, and you can only give 20. It's not about financial needs. It's about that if that true love is there. Because my pastor even hit it right on the head, because he was helping me out in my previous relationship. Because he even told me that finances, because I was telling him pretty much finances was the main thing that was hurting the relationship. He was saying finances that shouldn't be the main. It's a factor, but it shouldn't be a main factor in the problem. Because if both people don't have anything, that love got to be there. Because money can get you some places, but it can't get you everywhere. And money shouldn't be the main problem in a relationship. And that's the problem today. That's the problem today. Some people have the motto: no finance, no romance. You see. And it's good to splurge on your significant other. I did it, but the main thing, the love got to be there. You can't buy love. Love got to come natural. Love ought to come from your actions. What you do, how you treat the person that you with, and everything else shall fall into play. But you gotta be respectful. Both people gotta be respectful. Even if things get heated, you gotta have that respect factor there. You can't dog them out, cuss him or her out. You gotta be able to respect one another, and even through hard times. There's gonna be times that things gonna be rough. There's gonna be times y'all can get on each other's nerves. That's love. But the main thing, you gotta allow the love to help balance it all out. And the main thing is, if you're having tough times, go through some counseling. Even through dating, go through some counseling. But the main thing before counseling, you got to pray over that relationship. Make sure that relationship is right for you, because the Lord may say that he ain't right for you, she ain't right for you, and he'll take you to the person that is right for you, and he'll bring that person right before your eyes. You don't even have to go nowhere; it'll be right in front of you. I did the online dating, and it's okay. I'm still a little skeptical about it, because you got to be real. You gotta be real this day and age. This catfish is real out here. You like K Love said that you see that profile picture, like, oh, that person look good. In person, you're like, who are you?
Right.
Right.
It's true. That's why I did. I remember before me and this young lady dated. We FaceTimed each other so I could see who this person is. Had conversations, and then I remember we met up. I didn't even pick her up. We met each other at Wahlburger, had a bite to eat, and really had a good conversation and a good time with each other. Because y'all hit it right on the head. It's not about what you do. It's not about where you take the person. It's about that true conversation. A true communication is key in a relationship. Mm-hmm. You can't go strong without love and communicating. Y'all gotta communicate. You can't feel like you're walking on eggshells around that person. You gotta truly know that person is right for you, and that love has to be in the midst of everything. Yeah, he gets on my nerve. Yeah, she gets on my nerve, but I love that person. I love that person to death, and you'll see that love come into play in your darkest moments, in them hard moments. In them times that you hit rock bottom, is that person there for you? If he or she's there for you, the love is there. But if she gone or he gone, he don't know your name or she don't know your name no more. When you in those dark moments, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Don't force anything. Don't say, "Well, I got to get myself better. Then I know he or she'll be happy for me." No, because in the relationship, when you're dating, even in your dark moment, just like Jesus, that person should be always there for you. As Jesus said, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." That person ought to not leave as well, even in your dark moments. And I do suggest, even when you start dating, You should, but you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but we have to strive to continually do better. When you do better, you grow better. But as you're growing and you're starting to date, or if you're in that dating stage, in the tech stage, I say you ought to have that person sticking right by your side, no matter what, no matter what's going on. That person still loves you and cares about you. But you ought to know through them times that if a person ain't there for you, or making reasons out the book not to call you or check up on you or come by to see about you, not right for you. But the main thing is you got to have that discernment to know if that person is right for you. You have to know deep down in your heart, just by talking to that person, if that person is right for you. And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. Go on some dates, have some good conversation with the person. That's how you truly know. Is in the Bible, I forgot what scripture it says. You could tell about the motives by the person talking to you. Mm-hmm. By you hear the conversations, that's how you know the heart.
Right.
By what the person says. Just have that discernment and truly know if that person is right for you. But the main thing is put it in God's hands. Let God bring the person into your life, and I continually lean on this scripture as I go. You got to truly trust in the Lord. Let God take you to that person, because sometimes you're meant to be alone just for a season. And then when you get to when you cross the bridge, you get to the other season, then Jesus will bring that to your life. But truly trust in the Lord with all your heart and mind and soul. And don't lean on your own understandings. Don't lean on what you think.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we lost him again, but he will be wrapping up Motivational Minutes for the week.
Yeah.
If we could get him back, we will. So today we are going to go ahead with our Let's Go to Therapy segment. Our spotlight is being revamped. We still will have Sione Pearls as our spotlight, as also one of our biggest sponsors. But we are revamping our spotlight segment. We will end today with Let's Go to Therapy. Before we do that, I want to tell everybody to stay tuned to next week's episode, where we will be talking about the importance of journaling and maybe see some great new journals at the same time.
All right. So in our Let's Go to Therapy on this week, we're going to talk about Cleveland Health and Wellness Center. It's located in Rocky River and in Beechwood. So for all your counseling needs, please call 216-239-0951. And you can ask for Brenda Williams, servicing our community and our people. And that's it for therapy, but you can also email us. If you just feel like you need someone to talk to, or if you need a connection, you can definitely email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for this week's spotlight. And is there any other comments or questions for today?
Well, I would add that our guest speaker for next week is Lucy Adams, and she will be talking about the importance of journaling and how it saved her life.
All right, ladies.
Okay, and
I better read nothing.
I'm sorry, I had a little technical issue where I couldn't hear anything for a minute. But thank you so much. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We will see you on next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks for inviting me on.